All right, you guys, on the rear, it's pretty much the same, just a little bit different. Only difference is that bracket bolts are 14s, and for that piston, I'm going to show you guys another trick because it is different. It's not just pressing. So you go ahead, and actually on this one, it's not going to hold itself. Either if you have a narrow crescent, which most likely you guys won't, but if you have a 17 wrench, you can fit the wrench on that nut, and then all you got to do is hold it, so that way it's not going to spin the assembly, and then you break the 12 loose. Same thing on the bottom, another 12. But since it has the parking brake line, you got to find a good angle while your wrench or socket fits. You just spin these bad boys out. The only thing you want to do is you want to have the parking brake off, because if it's on,
it'll allow it to spin.
Well, if it's on, it's going to hold itself on the bracket.
Yeah, you won't be able to get the,
so you won't be able to get the piston and bracket off on the rear. Before you slide the caliper off, you gotta disconnect this brake line. It's gonna be a little tighter, but that way it gives you more room to move the bracket out of the way, because it's not gonna come out of your way. Once, take that 12 out there. I would put this on the side because it's a different 12 than the ones come off from the caliper. You don't want to mix them up.
I think you just gotta pop it.
There, and then that way you just slide this up straight. Let's see, you can leave it hanging without pulling on the line much, because you can leave it hanging because of the e-brake cable. Same thing, you pop the pads out. Next, you're gonna go ahead and take out these 14s on the back of the bracket. Right now I'm using my mountain wrench, but you can use your ratchet with the 14. And then you take the bracket off with the 2 bolts, just like on the front, so it's pretty much the same. Damn, strip. Nope. You can do that too, the slots, and then tap it, or you can drill it until it drills the taper part, Christian. You know, like until you drill it, and then you just have the little fucking bolt. So these ended up stripping on the rear, but Christian was messing around and he managed to tap these out. But it's normal, especially if it's rusty and East Coast car. Definitely these might strip. So the rotor comes off after that. But I mean, from the other side, or no,
the other side just had one.
Really?
Yeah.
The other side had one?
Yeah.
Okay, so tight, you know.
Good.
Same thing here with these bad boys. You can wipe them down also, but also you can replace these. It's kind of up to you if you prefer the aftermarket or the OEM clips or shims.
We've had some bad experiences with the aftermarket, so we're sticking with the OEM ones. But
it also depends on when it's some aftermarket stuff. Sometimes they're not as good as the OE. Then the next part I would work on is compressing the piston. Now they sell special tools to spin these, but also the oldest trick. It actually sucks right now, this angle. Starting. And you spin it clockwise, so this parking piston retracts. One little part you're trying to pay attention to is you're trying to line up these, so somewhere like that, so it sits that way,
nice and straight.
So that way when you put it on, it's gonna line up to this very little notch. On the front, this car doesn't have that, but on the rear does, and I think this is a good example. I don't know if you can see that X on it. You sit in this groove or machine surface, your pad is gonna be dragging. So next, once you lined up the piston and retracted it back, you can go ahead and put the caliper bracket after you lube the sliding pins as well, and maybe you change these shims, it's up to you. The same thing, you just wiggle it a little bit. So you go ahead and snug these bad boys up. And then now you can go ahead and put the pads back. These ones don't have spring clips. You want to go ahead and slide this bad boy back in. The only thing, see, it doesn't really line up yet. So you spin it back a little bit. You're gonna kind of see when it slides on, when it lines up with the brake pad. And then you're gonna push the sliding pins in because they might fuck you to get the caliper back on. You might have to play with these a little more because of the parking brake cable. It's gonna like push itself off. To put a ratcheting wrench on it, or ratchet, and then you just go gentle on the bolt first. Just feel, make sure you know it starts right, because if it stops when you start tightening, meaning you are going to strip it. But if you can't get it on because of the bleeder screw, like your ratcheting, my mountain goes in it, but you guys might not have a mountain wrench, so you don't damage it. And pretty much that's it for the rear, you guys. So the last thing we want to do is we got to do a brake flush because the fluid was old. And on this car, since it's a very generic car and it doesn't really have a special procedure, we're going to start on the right rear, then go to the left rear, then we go to the front right and front left, because that way we get the longest line first with the fluid, and then as the lines go we get closer to the reservoir. So we're gonna go ahead and put some new fluid in there. And what color is the fluid that comes out? I don't know if you can see this, like see-through. It's nearly like water. It's a little like yellowish color. If you don't have any special bottles or bleed equipment for the brakes, you can make this from a little water bottle. You just drill a hole in the cap and you put a hose on it. It's very simple. We're gonna go ahead and remove the little rubber covers. So he's holding it. Crack it open and some fluid comes out. I wish this hose would be see-through so you guys could see better. Christian, is closed. A couple pumps, like 5 or more. I'll record it in the right angle. Christian, is closed. This is why brake flush is important, and it's a simple job you guys can do at home.
Boil.
Once you start seeing brighter fluid come out, you know this is the new fluid, and you know you're done with this corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and onto the next corner. You guys are done with the service. I always like to put the wrench back on it a little more and snug it up. And once you're gonna feel the stop, be careful not to strip it. So it's kind of hard to feel, but you want to slowly push it until it stops. Then you go ahead, wipe it a little bit off so the brake fluid is not eating anything off, and put that little cap back on. All right, closed. There we go. Open it big time now. Closed. That way we bleed it fast. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a lot better fluid already. Still a little brown from the caliper, but getting better. Closed. Closed. But yeah, you guys just go ahead and finish bleeding the brakes with this corner. Just always make sure you have enough fluid in the reservoir. I hope you guys this video was educational enough. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like and subscribe for more, and see you guys later. Peace.